welcome to the Young Hearts Run Free podcast. Well, Howard, how are you doing? Well,
I'm amazing. Thank you. Thank you both for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here.
it's awesome to speak to you again because we did speak to you
Yeah.
in a big marquee in Coniston.
I was maybe in a different state of mind then maybe.
In a different space, maybe, a different
Yes.
headspace, maybe. But
no, it's certainly really nice to speak to you then as well. It was yeah.
Well, we said, and this will maybe letting the cat out of the bag, we said the people that finished third in the races were the best crack that we had all weekend. Seriously, both male and female. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. So the seed was planted then to have this chat, and here we are. But, however, a lot of our listeners might be thinking, who's Will Howard? Who's this guy? So we always like to give our guests the opportunity to introduce themselves. So how did you get into running? What has your journey looked like as you traversed to that 100-mile race in the lakes? Who is Will Howard? Over to you.
So my journey in running really starts, it probably doesn't even start with running. It starts with just all the other sports that I'd maybe do as a kid. And I was very fortunate growing up. My parents really indulged me doing any sport I seemed to be interested in. And much to their approval and enjoyment, it seemed like as soon as we'd bought all the expensive kit for the sport was right when I'd think, oh, maybe it's time to try another sport. So I did a lot of tennis, rugby, bits and bobs, but I always sort of did running through school. Used to run with my mum. She's really big into. She actually just ran the Lakeland 50, which is for the second time, I should say. But yeah, running with her growing up was just always there, and it was funny because I was playing a lot of rugby, but then I got injured. I think I broke my thumb one day, and so I couldn't play rugby anymore, and so I was going off running and enjoying the running way more than I was enjoying the rugby. And it was I think I signed up for a local 10K, and I think I was 14, and it was then that sort of some of the local just a neighbor of ours actually who volunteered at the local run club. He said, "Oh, you can't be doing this long stuff at 14. You got to come down to the track and do the 1500, do the 3K, and the older stuff will come when the longer stuff will come when you're a bit older." And so I thought, okay, yeah, did the cross country sort of scene, athletics, and then ended up sort of stumbling into a bit of triathlon, which I still enjoy my cycling and my swimming to this day. So really sort of grateful for that experience. And off the back of the triathlon, I managed to stumble myself into modern pentathlon. I don't know are you familiar with that sport?
That got horses in it.
It has got horses in it. And don't ask me. I didn't grow up with horses, so it was that was a new one for me. But
shooting.
Yep. Can you get the other ones?
I can picture it in my head now.
Yeah.
I can picture your mum and dad's garage at home. It's full of all this stuff.
No,
rifles.
Fortunately, not horses. I think that was a step too far. But yeah, so it's fencing, shooting, horse riding, swimming, and running. And whilst I really enjoyed all the sports, it was always the running that was my strength. It was always the running I'd sort of almost lean on to get me through the event. So I went to, I sort of did that to a very competitive level. I went to European and World Junior Championships, which was all really fun actually. But then it was sort of around COVID time so I was at Bath University, which was like the performance center for this sport. And it was around sort of COVID where, I feel like for a lot of people, COVID was when they picked up running because they, I guess, had nothing else to do. Whereas for me, like with COVID coming around, all the training like at the center sort of died off a little bit. And it was actually where I sort of almost fell out of love with running, like maybe for like a year or two, just like a little hiatus, because it was almost like for everybody else, it was oh, we got nothing to do, let's do running. And for me, it was finally a time almost where I don't have to do running. But I think I actually really needed that sort of couple years to realize what I missed. And yeah, so then getting back into it, must have been 2023. And my girlfriend's brother-in-law, he was running the London Marathon, and I went down to watch. And I don't know if you've been to London, but it's electric. It's contagious, isn't it? It's have you both been?
You were there at the same time, actually, 2018. We both
Yeah,
did
right
that,
enough.
Yeah, it's magical, isn't it? There's something. Just the whole city sort of comes out to play. And so yeah, I saw the race, and I thought, yeah, I want a bit of that. And I started training, and my uncle lives in America, so we both sort of said, oh well, let's both try and get Boston qualification times. So trained for the qualifying race, did that, got the time, and then the following April we both lined up in Boston, which again, like, I'm sure it's hard to compare these different races, but London seemed insane, but Boston it's like running Mecca, really. And it's a point-to-point race, so it's just the crowds are enormous, and I feel like, maybe you don't have to fuel as much at Boston, because almost like the crowd fuels you. It really feels like you're running on good vibes. So it was.
Well, you are in the midst of a 6-star medal holder in this conversation, and it's not me. It's Stephen's
Wow.
done the whole. He's done the lot. He's been to Boston.
Oh yeah, no, just what Will said. Running Mecca is a really good descriptor of that. When did you do that? April 23 or 24?
24.
April 24. Yeah, and it's a particularly special. Feels like you're. It's a 26.2 point-to-point race, but it feels like you're in a stadium almost.
Yeah, the whole way. And the like little yellow school buses, they check you out to the start on. It's the real deal. It's great.
Yeah, with no toilets.
Yeah, you'd think they'd have figured that one out.
Get creative.
So you did Boston, then London after that?
No, I've never done London.
Okay.
London, I was
just
just spectating at London.
Right, for the unicorn.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really special
How
event.
did you find the hills at Boston?
Well, they weren't a surprise. Like, I knew they were coming, so I'd trained for them, and I think I handled them pretty well. Like, the people, there were a lot of people. I'm sure you know how it is. You come over that Heartbreak Hill, and some people around you clearly didn't get the memo.
I got the memo still, but I'd be one of those people. Probably not around you, Will, but yeah, they hit me hard.
But it is hard. But I think some people pay the price a bit more, and I managed to still sort of keep it strong after that, which I was really pleased with.
What was your Boston finish time? Just
2:40.
2:40.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a good day.
That'll be a nice wee sprint down Boylston at the end of that one, I bet.
No. It was amazing. So in the qualifying race, I paced it terribly, and as I think is a rite of passage on your first marathon. I got to 20 miles, and I thought, oh dear, what have I done? But no, at Boston, I think I didn't hit that point until Boylston. So for those who don't know, it's maybe 200-300 meters into the finish. And when I got to that point, I thought, oh dear, the wheels have come off. But you're as good as done by then.
Absolutely. Well done. And that was a good description. So April 24, we're in August 26. Just 2 years ago, you ran a 2:40. Is that the marathon PB?
It is. I haven't been back to the roads since then.
Okay.
I'm due to in December. I'm doing the Pisa Marathon.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, since Boston, haven't run on the roads very much actually.
So, well, let's get dug into that then, because take us from then Boston and the fact what attracted you to not run on roads?
So when I was out in Boston or in America, I thought,
Uh-huh.
oh well, if I'm going over, I was sort of in between jobs at the time, so I had a bit of free time. I went over, stayed with my uncle, we did the race, and then I ended up getting a job on sort of like a Camp America thing in Minnesota, which was just amazing. It was just out in the wilderness and on the lake, and it was glorious. But it was out there. I ended up doing this 50-miler ultra in Minnesota, and it was nothing like Lakeland, but it was maybe like 1,500 meters of elevation, pretty rolling, fast American trails. But it was a scorcher. It was like in the mid-30s all day, right from sort of the 7 a.m. in the morning, and but I came away with a win there, and actually I should say a record-breaking win, because I was the slowest ever winning time of all time. So
what was the name of said ultra marathon?
this was the Minnesota Voyager.
The Minnesota Voyager. We like getting a wee bit of context. I'll go and take a look at the Minnesota Voyager group, see if they're looking for an even slower winning time anytime soon.
I don't know if you're familiar with Scott Jurek, but I read his book, and he's from Minnesota, and this was one of his first races. And I was working out there, and I thought, oh, it's just too perfect. It's too perfect.
Brilliant.
And yeah, so that from there, I've always liked the trails, but after that, I came home. Last year I did a bit of like the longer fell season in the lakes. Really enjoyed that, and I've just sort of been testing a little bit longer, a couple FKTs here and there. And I don't know if you're familiar with like the Bowland Ultra. It's really close to me. I'm from Preston.
Okay.
So yeah, that was up in the Trough of Bowland, 40 miles that was in January, and I just love being out on those fells and in the lakes as well. But yeah, the road's good for sort of testing out. It's a good yardstick really, for okay, where am I? Because it's also standardized and dialed in. But the trails and the fells are really where it's not about the times as much. It's about the sort of the feel and the enjoyment, isn't it?
I'm looking at that Minnesota result. I couldn't find you on DUV because it's under American nationality, and I'm looking for.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm looking for. Well, but also that finish time of 8:36 for 50 miles. That's brilliant. It does say though Preston in another column. So, but you've got one entry in the DUV page, and it's that Minnesota Voyager. But that
100% ultra sign-up score.
But that shows you though the sort of the rapid rise, and then so coming into July this year, taking on, let's not call it 100, that is 105 you're doing. Taking that on, what was the reason for Lakeland 100 being a choice?
It's funny because I don't think we get much of a choice with it. I'm sure you can choose and you can say, this is the race I want to do. But for me, it almost felt like I just stumbled into it almost, because like I said, my mum did the 50 this year. She did the 50 last year. And when she signed up for the 50 last year, I thought, oh, that sounds great. I'll volunteer there. It sounds like a bit of fun. But I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, because, you've both been to Lakeland, and it's not just a weekend, is it? It feels like a whole life in 3 days.
Can I interject? Can we give your mum a shout out? What's your mum's name?
My mum's name is Eve Howard, and she
Howard.
smashed it last year. She's a Lakeland legend. She smashed it last year, but she absolutely crushed it this year. She really wanted under 16 hours, and she came in and 15 something, and so she was over the moon. And I should say, the following day on the Sunday, I anybody who saw me walking around Coniston would have thought he's been hit by a car. Something has happened. Something really bad has happened to that guy, Will. My mum, on the other hand, she was like, she's just running around. She's doing bits and bobs. She's packing away all the. It's not fair. It's
Well, we watched you walk away from us. We watched you walk away from us.
Walk is maybe a stretch.
The quads were on fire, I think. But your mum now knows that that's her qualifying time to enter the 100. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she knows.
Oh,
she knows
brilliant.
that.
Go on your cell, Eve. Love it.
Ah, man.
Brilliant.
So you're signing up for the Lakeland 100?
Oh,
Are you
sorry.
And
Me? Next year?
No. Talking about this year.
Oh, sorry. So I volunteered last year, got my race credit.
Brilliant. Good on you.
And I sort of thought, no disrespect to the 50, but let's do the full Monty. You know, it's you know, and I've got a free entry, so from the volunteer shift. So yeah, let's get my money's worth, I guess. And
absolutely. And well, we've said that Preston's your hometown.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, not so far away from the lakes. What, an hour or so, give or take?
Yeah, hour and a half. You get basically anywhere in the lakes in 2 hours. So very, very lucky to have the lakes.
I noticed you run with a vest on, and you're part of a running club.
Yes, Bowland Fell Runners.
Bowland Fell Runners, very fetching colours.
Yeah.
It's.
I'm sure
need to have a word with whoever chose.
the design agency.
Wasn't it
Ellis Bland?
Ellis Bland.
He was.
Yeah.
He's, he's Ellis is amazing. He's still a huge part in our sort of area. He's a lot more in the sort of like running the events now. Him and the Varga team ran the Bleasdale Fell Race this sort of February, and it was a great success.
Ellis was a previous guest, friend of the show, as we say. And if you're interested in Ellis, go back. And this is a message for everybody listening. Go back and listen to his episode, because it was an absolute brilliant hoot. It was such a good fella. Anyway, less about Ellis.
Well, I've got to say about Ellis, every time you mention his name, he also picked Red Light Spells Danger as his tune, and that is an absolute floor filler. So there we go. Anyway, back to.
And he should have a Young Hearts Run free sticker on his Defender still. It's Land Rover. Superb. So yeah, Bowland Fell Running Club is your home club. So there'll be a lot of experience in there in terms of the trails round about the lakes and stuff, I'd imagine.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who they certainly know what they're talking about. There's always seems to be somebody doing a Bob Graham or somebody doing this race, that race. It's for a small club, I think we do really well.
So do you have a running coach then, Will, or is it not just but the club that helps you with some guidance with regards to running?
Yeah, I do. So from the club side of things, it's mostly social. It's probably the biggest social aspect of my life. Everybody's super friendly, and it's a great community. But from a coaching side of things, I'm with Rowan Wood. He's based in the Lakes, sort of Kendall sort of area, and I've been with him for about a year now. And it's just keep taking steps forward.
For being with him for about a year, has it made a big difference to your running then in that last year?
Well, it's, you know how running is. It's up and it's down, but it's so in sort of wintertime, I had like a really bad Achilles problem, and I would have been lost without Rowan's sort of guidance. It's sort of coming out of that. I think I came out of that injury stronger than when I went in, which, you know, not a lot of people can say. But like, again, sort of building on that, from September to December, I mentioned sort of off air, I'm studying marine engineering, And so September to December, I was on a ship, which is not particularly helpful for trail running. But yeah, with Rowan's help, we put together some pretty mean sessions on the treadmill and on the rowing machine. And yeah, it's everybody else on the ship thought I was pretty mad, to be honest.
But you know what? I think if you want to do something though, you've got to be prepared to put the graft in. You know, and it sounds like between you and Rowan that's worked, and you've got the result certainly. So how was your training block building up to July?
So like I mentioned, in sort of winter, January, February, I had this bad Achilles, but I was entered for Northern Traverse, which you think going from 50 to 100 is a big step up. It would have been even bigger running across the
country.
Yeah, so like it's what happened with Aria is obviously a true shame, but in hindsight, it's probably not a bad idea. From my personal interest, I think that would have been a really hard step up. But consequently, I had this little injury, and then next thing I was training for how can I get to the start line fit and healthy. So I was building a really good base in the lead up to that, and then as we all know, the Northern Traverse got cancelled, but I was still building, so my block into Lakeland was really strong, and it just sort of kept building on top of the growth. We got loads of really good sessions in, really good long runs in, and just consistency from January all the way through to July. Even with the little Achilles problem, just the consistency was really good.
Had you managed to be on the whole route at some point? Is that something that you knew anyway, or?
I didn't know the route that well before sort of recceing it, but yeah, I'd recceed the whole route apart from sort of Blacksail Pass through to Braithwaite, which we all know is the night section. So that was fun in itself. In its own way, I did manage to get out on a couple night runs, which is always good to sort of like test out the gear, test out the head torch and stuff. And I'm and as any good boyfriend would, it was actually Valentine's Day with my girlfriend, and I surprised her and I said, we're going on a camping trip in the van, middle of February. So she was obviously delighted. And she was even more pleased when I told her at 11 p.m. Well, actually, I'm going to go off on a run up and around the fells, in the Bowland Fells in the snow, and you just go to sleep, and I'll be back before you know it. And
you old romantic, you.
I know, the way to a woman's heart. And it's even better when you forget to charge your phone, so it dies. So she can't contact you. She's worried sick, and I should have mentioned she doesn't run, but I had very generously signed her up to volunteer at a fell race the next day, which is what every girl dreams of, I think. And that was actually the fell race that Ellis organised. So it was good. It was certainly good for my my torch tactics and stuff.
I don't think your girlfriend will ever forget that Valentine's Day.
No, it's a memorable one for sure.
Oh man! So getting us back on track, the training block sounds like it's been executed well. Did you have? No, sorry,
I was yeah.
All right, okay. I was like, shaking your head there. Right, okay.
I sort of shaking my head out of like, it really couldn't have gone better.
Okay, and did you do? Have you done any other races this year, or was it all eyes on Lakeland? As in ultras.
Yeah, so I did Bowland Ultra in January,
so
which was a great race. I don't know if you know Barney Plummer. He's a Lakeland runner. He just won the Fellsman. I think he won 13 Valleys last year. He's an exceptional runner. He we were running together for probably best part of half the race, and then he just turned on the gas, and afterburners at halfway is impressive. But the way he ran away from me looked like felt like I was stood still. It was a great race. It was also just a really great race to be on the home fells, and it was only 40 miles, but it was a really good day out.
Hear that, John? Only 40 miles.
Think
about that on the start line on Saturday, John.
Yeah. Will and I live in different planets, man. Different stratospheres, different mindsets.
So leading into race weekend in Coniston, you kind of know what to expect, having volunteered last year, and a bit of the sort of big occasion feel that goes with it. 6 o'clock start, which is quite notorious for that. It's no often a start time of a race. Were you going out with a plan in terms of hitting checkpoints at certain times? Were you working with your coach to do that? Or, well, tell us, how was your race your pre-race plan?
The pre-race plan was really just try not to be too silly. I guess it's hard because I hadn't ran that distance. I didn't know what to expect, and you set off and you're thinking to yourself, is this easy? Yeah, this is easy, but probably should be an easy pace. And it's hard to know, will this still be easy in 70, 80 miles? And so it was just much more about, not being too silly, going with, but also not doubting yourself. Like, you have to back yourself a little bit, But I'm running, and I'm running with, for the first up and through the first checkpoint, I'm running with Mark Derbyshire, and it's like you do get a bit of sort of imposter syndrome. Like, he's a legend in the sport. What am I doing running with him? Same with Pete, the guy we were running with. It's just like, these guys are amazing, and so it was great to share the miles with them, and kind of just had to think, don't do anything stupid. And as it sort of happened, everybody around me seemed to get a little bit lost, and it was as sort of like, now Mark and Pete were a minute behind, and I just had to think to myself, don't try and get away. Like, if that was probably my only thought of pacing, was don't try and get away, just really settle into your rhythm and just really do your thing. And if they catch you back up, they catch you, and if don't even worry if they don't, because it really felt like they were going to catch me.
Did it feel comfortable where you were at that sharp end of the race? Like, going in, did you have an expectation of where you would place, or a time? What was your aims going into the race? Well,
so I'd be lying if I said one of my aims wasn't just to finish. Like, it's a big step up, and ultimately it's just a crazy race, isn't it? Mark says at the start of the in the briefing, he says about the dropout rate, and it's just there's no race like it. And so you'd be doing the race a disservice if you didn't at least just want to finish a bit. But I kind of thought, okay, well, based off what I think I could do, if I can get under 24 hours, that'd be a really good day. And the closer I can get to 20, like, that would just be exceptional. So I was really pleased with the final outcome.
So
you could tell when we were speaking to you in the marquee that you were absolutely delighted. I don't know, I'm not saying you were surprised by it, but to have got that finish and the way it went, you were just overjoyed. That was a feeling I was getting listening to Stephen and you speak.
And that's exactly the case. It's hard to be surprised because it's such a slow burn. Like, you're out there for so long, and for me, I was in third for hours and hours, and constantly sort of like, if nothing, basically for many hours, it was a case of, if you don't absolutely cock this up, you've got third, but you do have to get to the end. And so then when you finally get to the end, it's not a surprise that you're in third, but you're certainly overjoyed that you're at the end and that I've done so well. I was, like you said, I was over the moon.
You mentioned about Black Sail Pass, Braithwaite. How was that night section for you?
Yeah, it was great. It was really peaceful. It was really nice. Like I said, I was on my own at this point. And it's funny because I thought when it was me, Mark, and Pete, we were sort of chasing Caspian. He was a fair bit down the road. We couldn't see him, and unbeknownst to us, he takes a wrong turn and then ends up behind us. But nobody told us that. And then, as it so happened, Mark and Pete took a wrong turn, and now I was in front, but I still thought Caspian was up the road. So all night I'm chasing a phantom leader, and it was really weird because on every hill I'm looking for this head torch, and I'm thinking, wow, he's really far ahead, but it was also really weird because you come into each checkpoint, and nobody tells you you're winning because they think you know. But everyone's just beaming that you're the first runner they've seen. But everybody's like so happy to see you. But you just assume they're just being good volunteers,
Yeah.
And I must say, no shade on Doc Ray, but they didn't have the cordial ready. They didn't even have the juice ready. And so I come in and I think, what did Caspian do, And this whole time I'm building this story in my head. What's Caspian like? What's he doing, And it was when I got into Dale-Main that I thought, okay, I've put it off many hours asking the question. I'll ask. I said, okay, how far ahead is he? And they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, Caspian's behind you. You're in the lead. And I thought, it was actually at that moment that Mark and Pete came flying through the checkpoint, and I thought, I'm not in the lead anymore. So, I didn't get to enjoy it for very long.
You would have got 30 seconds of enjoyment.
Yeah.
But you'd spent hours actually in the lead.
Yeah. It was really strange. It was really strange. But I also think it was maybe I talked about imposter syndrome, and I think it probably it's for the best. I think because I think if I was off the front and I saw some things after the race where it was like we were like 16 minutes under record pace. I'm really glad I didn't know that because in hindsight maybe it was a bit fast, but if somebody at the aid station had said, "Wow, you're 16 minutes under record pace," I would have thought, "Oh dear, that's not good."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Given that at Dale-Main, how are you feeling? You've then got 50 odd miles in your legs. How are you feeling at Dale-Main?
I was feeling all right, but it was sort of coming into Dale-Main that I started thinking, yeah, I'm definitely feeling 50 odd miles in my legs. But I'm still moving quite well. And I was feeling positive mentally. I was pretty good, but then I think I probably sat down. I don't know if I should have sat down or, you just do your routine, don't you? But when I got up from Dale-Main, I was a bit like, ooh, lost my momentum a little bit.
What did you do at Dale-Main? Full kit change? What was going on?
It's not a full kit change, but the best part of it, and like I keep saying, I've not done this before. I don't know what's expected at the front of the race. We get a drop bag, so I assume everybody's do everything. So I'm changing my socks, I'm lubing up, I change my t-shirt, reload my pack. But yeah, like I said, it seemed like Mark and Pete, they treated it like a normal checkpoint, just fill up bottles, probably reloaded their gels and stuff. But yeah, they were in and out real fast. But I'm pleased I did what I did. But next year I maybe won't sit down. I'll maybe do it sort of stood up and sort out my stuff. But yeah, not let the legs cramp up so much.
Next year.
But you know what though, we learn lessons, don't we? And we can only learn the lessons by taking part in the race.
Absolutely, and that's the thing is it's not these guys' first rodeo, and like I said, I also wouldn't change it. I think I needed to change my socks. I think I needed to change my shirt, and I think I probably needed to sit down. So, yeah. It was all for the best in the end.
And you're coming through Dalmain, what, early morning on the
I think it was
Saturday?
about 4:30.
Yeah. And the light starting to come up by then, kind of.
Yeah, it was light. It was light
Yep.
by then. Sort of on the run into Dalmain, I think, is when you come off sort of the Galbarrow area, that's
Yeah. I know it. No, I didn't.
Yeah,
John does.
that's when I think head torch sort of was not as useful, and the light's starting to come up, and it is a surreal feeling, sort of, running and watching the sun go down, and then you're still running, and it comes back up, and it's strange. It's strange, but
I'm laughing because while saying going to Dalmain was about 4:30. It was 14 seconds before 4:30. That's how close it was. Yeah. 14 seconds before 4:30 in the morning, you're going to Dalmain, which is mind blowing for the mere mortals, really.
I know, because that's 59 miles since that 6 p.m. start overnight in your legs. And then, so by then you're in third, and are you then maintaining third until the end?
No. So, so we're sort of carrying on, and like I said, I've lost a bit my momentum after Dalmain, but I'm getting back into it. We spoke in the post-race interview, sort of, I'd had, for better or for worse, I had a beetroot shot. It came straight back up, and now I'm thinking, it's weird, this ultra running thing, isn't it? Because you throw up, and the first thing I'm thinking is, oh no, all those carbs, all that, that's like 10 pounds worth of sick.
I've never thought it like that, but I know what you mean.
But then I was quite good at getting it back in, getting the fuel back in, rehydrating, and I actually think I felt much better for it. And then we're carrying on. We get to Howtown, and I get to Howtown. I'm a bit tired. I'm starting to tire. I think I took a couple of tumbles, sort of coming along Ullswater, and it's just that sort of, you're not as sharp anymore with your foot placement and stuff. But we come over Fusedale, and that was when I saw Pete ahead of me. And it's hard to gauge on the hills like how far ahead someone is, because obviously you're moving so slow, and he's X number of meters ahead, but you don't know how long that is. That could be 30 minutes for all I know. But then it was coming along Howtown, and I think he was in a bad spot at that point, and it's always harsh, isn't it? Because like at the pointy end of the race, you see someone, and also he pulled his poles out on coming along Ullswater, and I thought, okay, he's struggling. I gotta pass him with confidence now. And it's hard, but it's and I'm like, oh, good job, buddy. And then as soon as I turn the corner, I'm like,
giving me your secrets.
But no, it was great. And then so now I'm in second, and carry on. I get to Mardale Head, and that was the first. It was as I come out of Mardale Head, I see Caspian sort of like a bit behind me. And that was the first time I'd seen him all race, basically. And I thought, okay. But yeah, it was. So I was came out of Dalmain third, moved into second, and then
And where did Caspian get past you? Just out of interest.
So it was actually like
what he did to you, what you just did to that other guy.
I think he would have done, but I stopped him, and it was. I don't know if it's normal, but it felt right. And it was like, we're out there for 20 odd hours.
Yeah.
And I think this was my favorite moment of the race. Like, I go up over Fusedale, and because I was moving uphill really well. And I don't think he closed much on the uphill, but then on the downs, like, you saw me with my quads. It was from there, it was really tough, the downs. And he was still moving so well. So he comes floating past me, and I just said, just stop a minute, and just stopped him in his tracks, and I just gave him this big hug, and I just said, because by this point I'd heard that he'd taken a wrong turn. I think he went the best part of 1.5 kilometers the wrong way, came back, chased us down, and I just said, mate, you've rallied so hard here. You really deserve this. Like, you've absolutely smashed it. And it was weird. Like, you're in a weird emotional state anyway, and like you're a bit delirious. But it really felt like I had the silver medal in my hand and I couldn't hold it anymore. And I was giving it to him, and there was no way I was staying with him after that. And it was just this special, really special moment. And then he sails into the distance as I crumble along.
I don't know if that is normal, having never had the privilege to be at the sharp end of a race, but I want to think that it is normal, John. That
I
passes you, that you hug them for at least
lovely.
7 seconds.
It sounds like Will's saying it's his favourite moment in the race. It sounds like a really special thing. So I'm delighted that you've done that. I'm sure Caspian is as well.
Yeah, so. I'm not sure many. Like, I don't know if other people find that their favourite moment of the race is when they lose a place. But
it's come from a place of respect, isn't it?
Yeah, so much respect for those guys. Like, it's amazing. It was amazing, and also it's like, we've been out here for hours. Like, what does an extra minute matter?
However, when that happens, right? So you're now, what are you now sitting in? You're sitting in third.
Now I'm in third. Yeah.
So you want to hold on to third, don't you?
Yeah.
And there's other people coming from where Caspians came from.
Mm-hmm.
Does that then drive you on?
So it was at this point, like, I'd settled into a really good rhythm, and like I said, my downhills were not really what they were, but I was moving well, and I was feeling quite good, and it's this, like, I kind of, for the first half of the race, I didn't care where anyone else was. I was just happy winning my race. But the closer you get to the end, the more I'm starting to think, okay, where are they? So at each of the aid stations, I'm asking, okay, how far ahead's Caspian and how far behind is fourth? And I think it was in Chapel Style. I was really hurting by this point, and I didn't know how far Caspian was. And I said, how far is he? And they said, 20 minutes. And I thought, good. Because if you'd said something like 2 minutes, it would have been heartbreaking to think I still had to race. Like, good, okay, he's gone. I don't have to worry about second anymore. That's lovely. And then I said, okay, and now the more important question, how far behind is fourth? And they said, he's not even in amble. So I think Pete had dropped out by this point. So now it was the next guy, whoever was taking his place, and they said, he's not even in amble side. And then they said, you could walk it in. And I thought, don't say that.
No.
I don't need that right now, I said to them, don't say that. I need to get this done, But then there's also something in your mind that I feel like if someone's on your tail, you can find something extra, and I didn't have to find something extra, but I certainly wasn't about to just cruise it in. It was still really hard work, but it was also kind of that thought of, okay, it's as good as done now, and also it was really special for me. So like we mentioned, my mum was running the 50, my dad was volunteering at Tilberthwaite, which was an amazing feeling, because I feel like for so many people, like, they dread getting to Tilberthwaite, because then they've already run 100 miles, then they have to go over that disgusting hill. But for me, it felt like Tilberthwaite was as good as the finish. Like, I get to see my dad after this crazy adventure, and then I just go up over this thing, finish it off, and it really felt like a reset. It was lovely to see him there. That was really special.
Well, let's give your dad a shout out. What's your dad's name?
Let's give my dad a shout out. My dad's called Richard Howard. It was at the Tilberthwaite crew, and Tilberthwaite was where I volunteered last year as well. And it's anyone who's been there, and anyone who's ran the race, volunteered at the race, they know, like, Tilberthwaite, it's so special. Like, the problem with being at the sharp end of the race is that they don't fire up the cheese toasties in time for us.
That's always the big. People talk about it. Legendary cheese toasties. And the first year I did the 50, getting to Tilberthwaite, there were people in the 100. They were literally like walking like zombies. You know, they were, time I get in, it's like early hours of the morning. This is the back, not the other end of the race.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what you're saying, that they've got all these miles in their legs. They've got this hill to go over, that jaggy hill, and before they get on the fire track. But you had that draw to get there, to see your dad, which is quite brilliant. Did you get a chance to share a moment with him, or?
He sort of like walked up the road to me. We had this great hug, and it was funny because he's run with me in races before, and you know, like we're running, and so he said because it's not warm at this point. I don't think for him. I think it was like cloudy and whatever. So he had his hat on and his jacket, and he thought, oh no, if I'm going to be running with him, then I need to shed these layers because we're going to be running. And he comes out to meet me, and he was basically walking alongside me. I think he regretted taking off the layers, but it was really special to see them, and also to see the Tilberthwaite people, because you know, like they know I'm sort of a Tilberthwaite guy, and so it was really special part of the race.
Well, sorry, Steve, the same as the Borland Running Club.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of the Tilberthwaite club as well, so you're one of them, you know. So it's really special for them too. Brilliant.
They have that
these
in your
little
head.
communities are amazing.
Yeah, it's almost like that catapult to the finish line. That's what I'm hearing. Well, and like, well, take us to the finish line, because that's where John and I first encountered you. In the moments just after you crossed the finish line, coming in third, taking, what was your time? 20 hours 44 minutes.
That's the one.
Yeah. So you've blown that 24-hour target out of the water. You've edged it pretty close down to the perfect day out, which was towards 20. You've got third place. You're on the podium. Then you get met by John and I. Oh, how your day can go downhill. Take us to the moment you cross the finish line.
So yeah, crossing the finish, coming into Coniston itself is just amazing, isn't it? Like the Tilberthwaite climb it's a bit of a slog, but actually, like I said, I was moving uphill really well. But then the coming down is really hard, and I'm sure everybody has the same sort of feeling by then. Is every step downhill is really hard, but then you get onto that sort of that Jeep track, and it's not as steep anymore. You know where you're going. That's almost like the road you ran out on, and then you're coming into Coniston, and it's just wow. You can just hear the buzz, and you come through. You see the pubs are just on fire, and everybody's just like screaming. It's amazing, and crossing that line and just sort of thinking, it's done. I don't have to. I can stop, and it's hard because you know you're really proud of what you did, but at the same time you're so pleased it's over. And yeah, it was lovely. I got so much time for all the volunteers there. Like they help you over the line, and it's really funny because they have all those, you know, like where the wires are all going, and they have like those plastic things to protect it. The volunteers are sort of saying, "Oh, don't trip over that, don't trip," and it's like, gosh. Where were you the last 100 miles? I've been tripping over everything. It's but they're great. And then yeah, you know, when you come into the marquee and they just say, like everybody's just ecstatic. It's, you know, it's so special, so special.
Definitely.
Was Rowan there? Your coach, was he there?
No, it was. Funnily enough, his birthday is like the Lakeland weekend, so I think he was off. I think he went up to. I can't remember where he said he went, but he was on holiday. Okay. So yeah, my mum's busy running, my dad's busy volunteering. It's Rowan's birthday, all on my own. So
I'm glad we were there for you, man. I'm glad we were there for you.
It's nice to have some company, isn't it?
Yeah. And we should just say as well, Mark Derbyshire, 1851, Caspian James, 1939, Will Howard, 2044, and you were an hour ahead of fourth place, Sam Dermott, who finished in 21:44. So that's a big gap. So the people at Chapelstyle were right, weren't they?
And everyone you mentioned there is just like the fact I'm even in that sentence is just mind-blowing to me. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but then go back a bit. Well, you spoke about your training block with the Achilles thing, but then Northern Traverse got cancelled, but you're still running well, you're still building. You've put the graft in and you've executed to be hoping to be in about 24 hours. And as Stephen says, you smashed that, but you've put yourself in that place. You've executed a fantastic race. It's brilliant. The fact that it's your first 100-miler is just phenomenal result. So happy. So happy for you.
Over the moon, really. Really good. Yeah.
Can we speak about your fueling?
Yeah,
you mentioned you spoke quite graphically about the beetroot and the marquee, but can you speak to us about what gels do you use? How do you fuel yourself for 100 miles?
Yes, I'm all in with the fueling. Like this high carb sort of revolution. I've drank the Kool-Aid on that, so I'm well on board with this whole. Yeah, basically take as much as you can, as much as you can, and if you can't take much, train yourself to be able to. So I was probably floating around the 105, 110 grams an hour, probably for the whole race. Like I mentioned, I threw up with the beetroot thing, but I think that was just too much. You know, you're 60 miles in, your stomach's used to this you've been very regimented with the gels and everything, and then you just added this super concentrated, super acidic beetroot shot, and it just didn't agree. But other than that, my stomach was great. So really like the Precision Fuel and Hydration 90-gram pouches. I can't explain how much I like them. We spoke off air. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but the stuff I use it because I love it, and I don't know what they've done at Precision, but they know what they're doing. Like, no GI issues, no problems. That stuff is phenomenal. So I had those, and I tend to just take one of those an hour. And actually, like I should say, it's not, for the most part, I'm just chomping it down. I'm just getting, if you can get, because the way I see it is, in this hour you have to take 90 grams, and at a certain point you're getting a bit palate fatigue, you're sort of not liking it, and every sip is kind of like, you kind of wish you didn't have to do it. And so the way I see it is, if you can just power down this 90 grams in the space of 5-10 seconds, put up with that 5-10 seconds, you're done for the hour. You're done for the hour. You don't have to think about it. Your job's done. Because at the end of the day, in these 100-mile races, your job is to just keep fueling. Your legs will only keep working if you keep fueling. So get this job done in as quick as you can, 10 seconds. I also had tailwind in one of my bottles, so that sort of helps. Like I said, it was like 105, 110. So I got this 90-gram pouch. I'm sipping this tailwind every now and again. And that tended to be my sort of routine. I also had those SIS beta fuel, the jellies, not the gels, the jellies. And I really liked those because you can kind of, so they're like 46 grams an hour. Oh, they're 46 grams. So if I had one of those every half an hour instead of the pouch, but I really like them because I'm sure they taste nice, but you can also just almost take it like a paracetamol, and like you just chomp it and then drink some water and wash it down. And if you get into the point where you don't like the taste of stuff and it's just about getting it in, they're really good for that, and they're pretty dense in carbs. So I like those. And I'd sprinkle in some of the Precision electrolytes every now and again, but I'm not particularly, I don't really know my sweat rate or my any of this. I kind of just think, do I want salt now? If I do, I have a thing. I have a tab in the water. If I drink it and I'm like, that's too salty, then I just won't drink as much of it. And I feel like with the salt, your body kind of guides you. Whereas with the carbs, you have to guide your body because it's going to start saying, oh, we don't want this. And you have to say, well, you need it, Whereas I think the sodium, it's a bit more delicate. And
I like this. I love this, actually, because a lot of people's appetite does go. But what you're saying, well, is you've got to train your body to accept this is coming in. It's okay as well. I think you're maybe blessed with the stomach of a sink that you can just fire this stuff in, and it's going to. I love that nobody's ever spoken about just womphing a 90 grammer. Just getting it in.
What? I've got those for Saturday, those 90 grammars. I'm just going to go.
Oh, give it a try. Give it a try.
If it goes wrong, I'm coming to your door, Will. I am coming to your door. I'm sure it won't.
But like you said, it's something you can. Firstly, you can train your body to absorb it better because you know if you've never taken very much, it doesn't matter if you put 150 grams in, your body just can't absorb it. Like a lot of that's going to be wasted. But then you can also train yourself to accept it. Like and ultimately, like the more longer stuff you do, the more you kind of get on board with the idea that okay, I do need this even if I don't want it. And because ultimately the engine's not going to run if you don't put the fuel in.
I think you said it really well when you said that if you're not getting it in, the legs are going to stop working. And if you've got that mindset and mentality in your head, then that's what is getting you to the finish line. I think people will really, really enjoy that last couple of minutes chat. Well, the idea of real food or anything like that never entered your mind. Like when you were going through some of the offerings at the checkpoints, where you just thinking that could.
They basically force you to, don't they? They see you looking a bit weak, and they think, "Oh, we can trick this guy into taking some new potatoes." Or I think that's what they gave me at Howtown. They gave me one new potato, and I had it, and I was like, "Oh, it's quite nice actually," but I don't think it's gonna. It's not what I need. You know, it's not. And I also can't just chuck a load of new potatoes. I think it was just salty and yummy. But then, so they gave me a couple to carry on. I think when I got to Tilbury, I thought, what if I still got these in it? So I think over the course of the whatever it was, 21 hours, I had one new potato. That was my real food. So it was one of my 5 a day. So you know.
Good on you. Good on you. And what's your go-to post race refueling?
Like post what?
Like
I don't want to be. This is not a reflection of the chili that they give out. It's good stuff, but it just wasn't what I was. My body was like, what? Why would we want this? You know, it's. And so I took a bowl and I went back to the van and I'm sitting there and I'm like, come on, you should have this. You know, you've just been having sugar all day and all night. You should probably have some food. And my body was like, no, we don't want that. And I chilled for a bit. And then I went to that pizza van and oh my gosh, that place is again, I'm sure this is not a fair reflection. I'm sure the pizza's good, but it was sent from God himself at that point. It was the best. It was the best. And so I had got through one of those, and I thought, yes, that's.
I'm back.
I'm back. I'm
back.
Pizza anytime's good, man. Anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did an ultra down the lap down in Windermere. And he's got a pizza van at the halfway checkpoint, serving out the stone bake stuff. I was like,
Troutbeck it was, wasn't it?
That was
amazing. That's amazing.
One of these vans with a stone bake oven inside it. We're like, oh, we signed up for the right one here, John.
I was rolling them up and taking them with me, but brilliant. So good. So good. Talking, right, okay, that's the fuel in there. But what about kit? What about what you were wearing? People are we're interested and the listeners are interested, but what kit people wear? What shoes were you wearing? What shorts, vest? What was happening?
So again, I'll preface this with the fact that I not got any attachment to any of the brands. So I just wear the stuff that I really like and get along with.
Yeah.
So at the moment I'm running in, for the trails, I'm running in the Topo Mountain Racer 4s. They're really good. And again, similar to sort of the chili and the pizza, I'm sure it's not a true reflection of the shoe, but my feet took a bit of a battering. I think that's more a reflection of my foot care. That's definitely something I'm going to work on. So just blisters in that sense. But in terms of from what you look for in a shoe, especially up to this is post 30-40 miles that I was having problems, but the whole way around, like really grippy, really comfortable. Like not so much cushioning that you sort of can't feel where you're going, or you don't have any sort of contact with the floor, but not too little that you're really hurting your feet. So I really like those.
Same pair of shoes all the way, or did you change it, Dale Main, or?
Same pair of shoes all the way. For the future, unsure whether I'll size up. My feet definitely. I don't know if my feet swelled in the race, but in the days after, they were definitely swollen. So that's something I'll sort of try to dial in a bit and see. Okay, is this something that I would need after 60 miles? But yeah, that's I answer to your question. Yeah, same shoes the whole way through.
And did you have a race vest, or was it a belt you had?
Yes, I had both. So the race vest I've got is the Solomon Advanced Skin 12. It's just, you see it. Everyone's got one. They're amazing. The accessibility is really good. Everything sort. It's obviously different when you're kind of being cheeky with the race kit. Like I'm taking everything I'm meant to take. I've got my waterproofs, but yeah, I'm taking a pair of waterproofs that at the end of the day, I'm hoping I'm not going to have to use. They're very small, and if it was something like the Spine, where you need the really good kit. I don't know if you could get away with this particular 12 liter, but for me, for this race, perfect. Had everything I need. Everything's super available. Got a lot of time for that Solomon vest. And as for the belt, I use this American brand. It's called Raid Research. I saw some of the sort of like high-level American trail runners using it because it's different over there. They don't have to sort of have the same kit requirements as something like the Lakeland or any of the UTMB stuff. So I just saw a lot of these guys running really fast with no bounce, and that's what I've experienced as well. Is this belt? You can put your poles in it as well, but you can fit. It's called the Raid Research. Like LF 2 liter, I think, and so you can fit a good amount of liquid in it. You can fit loads of gels in it. Your poles go in. It's got like Velcro straps that sort of tighten it, whereas I know a lot of them are sort of like elasticated, and this really sort of like it has like a bit of structure to the belt, so it's really good. So yeah, again, got a lot of time for that. Other kit, sort of. Yeah, worth mentioning. Phoenix head torch. That's not like I don't think that's a revolutionary take. I think everybody knows these are like really good head torches. It's that one that's like got that stupid name, like HM65, whatever. I can't pronounce it, but I can certainly tell you it's a good head torch. And the Janji, I got the Janji shorts. They're wicked. They are like the pockets, so many pockets. Like it's like another pack, So I've got I think it's like the trail half tights, and just pockets everywhere. So I think I stored like loads of those beta fuels in one side, loads of tailwind in the other side, and they're a wicked pair of shorts. So I like those.
Is that an American brand as well, Janji? Because I hear, I listen to a podcast, Trail Runner Nation. They speak about Janji shorts. I'm sure I looked at them once, but to ship them to the UK was going to cost a fortune.
I think there's a UK website.
Is there?
There is.
I've always got it off the UK website, but it's definitely American based.
Because I like pockets. I love pockets. But that belt you mentioned, Raid Research, I'm sure a lot of people be interested in that. Willie Gibson, Stephen, said he prefers to run with a big belt rather than a race vest.
I know I do as well, because there's something about, like, if you can get away with it, like, on a race, a belt for me, when you've got the weight on your hips rather than on your shoulders, is much preferable.
And what Will's saying about it being Velcro, that means you're adjusting it, the tightness of it, because if it's elasticated, things are going to bounce when it's elasticated. So brilliant.
I will say for something like Lakeland, you could not get away with just the belt.
No.
But I've been on many like long runs with just the belt, because you can fit your phone, loads of gels, bit of water. Like you can probably fit a liter of water in it, but it's not one of these like big. A lot of the fell runners you see sort of have like these big these big belts that sort of seem to be able to fit loads of stuff in it. It's not got the volume of that, but those belts, they also seem like they bounce a lot. So it's sort of that middle ground.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. Okay. The theme of the season, Stevie boy. The theme of the Thethon.
Yes, the theme of the season, as we discussed before we came on air, is Everest. Well, and everybody's got their own Everest. Some of it might be actually Everest. What is your particular Everest? Well, in a running sense.
Well, I think it's a really hard one because I almost want to push back against the question a bit because like having something like that, like unless it's unachievable, what's next? Do you know what I mean? Like after you've climbed Everest, where'd you go from there? You know, like, and don't get me wrong, there are these sort of bucket list races, if you will, like something like the Winter Spine. That I've got my eyes on that for at some point. It just looks nuts, but it also just looks absolutely wicked. Something like the Backyard Ultra, like kind of this format of this like just like craziness, like but also the thing about that one is there's no finish line. It's up to you. It's unlimited, isn't it? And so in terms of things I really want to do is that, but in terms of Everest or like a pinnacle, I think I almost want to steer away from that because you know, as my childhood hero Miley Cyrus says, it's the climb, you know. It's the climb.
Yes, brilliant. I love that. Oh, fantastic. And you know what? I think on the back of, well, it's only still, we're in August still, on the back of something that was quite recent. That was an Everest, Lakeland 100. You know, so
if you told me a year ago a year ago obviously I signed up, but if you told me a few years ago, oh, you'll run 100, I'd be thinking, wow, that's gonna take some doing. If you told me I'd come third at this race with this caliber of people, like it's just, you know what I mean? Like that would be my Everest. But then I'd get here and obviously I'd be over the moon, but then there's always something. There's always something else.
Yeah.
That is
just another step along the way. At the end of the day, it's and don't get me wrong, you gotta relish the steps. But yeah, it's a long path. It's a long old, hopefully long old.
I love it. We'll get to the top of Everest and then, well, you've maybe set the tone for the new season after Everest's finished here, by the way. Well, reach for the stars.
Yeah, get to Everest and then just keep going.
And the 100-mile bug, is that something that's obviously sounds like it? Something that's
it's crazy, isn't it? Because across that finish line, and I think never again, no chance. And the next day, I'm at the award ceremony, and I'm like, well, maybe, you know, like it's really. And I swear to God, it must have been the next day. We were booking places in Coniston. It's crazy. It's quickly how it's funny how quickly the body forgets, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Your dad's going to have a busy summer next year at Tilbury, isn't he? If you're in and your mum's in the 100, that'd be brilliant.
And we've already arranged, like, because, you know, like I said, this year my mum was fit as a fiddle after the race, but we got to anticipate that next year we're going to basically be down an adult. And we didn't have too many anyway, so we've roped my sister into sort of coming along and just basically being our nanny.
Brilliant.
Oh, a family affair. I love it. It's, I don't know, 100 milers. Is it? Have you got anything next? Have you got anything booked in? Have you got a near target?
So I've certainly got my eyes on some sort. Next up is Mark Derbyshire's actually running the Coast to Coast, and so I'm going to be helping him on part of the lake section. So really looking forward to that. Sort of like a potentially history in the making. You know, it's going for the FKT. It's going to be like how he's doing that, like, what, 6 weeks after, it's beyond me. But, you know, I'm more than happy to do a little run through the lakes while he
that.
while
And I
he
know
crosses the country.
that we'll keep a close eye on that one. Well, and I noticed you were helping somebody around the Bob Graham round recently as well. Is that something that's on your sites, or have you already partaken?
I haven't done it. It's not on my sites, but it's another one. It's like the Span, like this Backyard Ultra stuff. It's definitely on the. It's got a solid place on the bucket list. It's just a case of, like, if I was going to do it, I'd want to do it my best effort. And in order to give it my best effort, that requires a lot of very focused, a very targeted approach. And I don't have that window. That window of time hasn't sort of presented itself to me yet. But as for sort of what's next for me, I think you heard of Lakes in a Day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's next for me. That's in October, 50 miles, and really looking forward to it. Ready to race again, and like 50 miles is very different to 100. So I'm looking forward to some slightly faster, more aggressive style of.
Good luck. We saw you on the Sunday at the award ceremony, which is a special occasion, and saw you from the VIP area. I was stationed there doing some videoing, and there were some sprightly characters hopping up the aisle to take their award. If it's okay, you weren't looking quite as sprightly at this point.
I was not, and I'll add to that, because some of the most sprightly people are the guys going up for the V70 awards. It's quite, and they also, I would all respect to them. They didn't finish the 100 too long ago, you know. It's I've had the full night's sleep. I've had a shower. I'm feeling as fresh as I can be, and I'm still. I'm the one who needs the walking stick. It's incredible.
It's quite a step. It's quite a step up onto that platform, isn't it?
Wow, I know. It's a wee John up there. So, but how has recovery gone since? Are you back out?
It's been great.
No, nothing prevailing.
There was a bit of lingering. Obviously, the first week body was just a write-off, which was really nice because, you know, I eat plenty of food, but I rarely just crash in front of the TV for a full week eating everything in sight. And that was certainly that was almost prescribed. So really, that was lovely. But then after that, after the majority of stuff had sort of healed a bit, the left hamstring was giving me a bit of trouble, but it's sort of that's been and gone now, and now I'm up and running and all's good. Lost plenty of toenails, so feet are doing great.
Super. And anybody who's wanting to catch up with Will and his running journey as it continues, should definitely go and check out his Instagram account, which we commented at the time when you told us about it as Wilzo, Wilzo, which is an early Instagram account grab, because that's a popular one. That's like me being Stevie Boy. Is that available still, John?
No, it went, man. It went.
Nah, Wilzo on Instagram. Yeah, how easy that is to remember.
Yeah, shameless plug for the Instagram. If you've listened to me waffle on for the last hour and 20, then I think there's plenty of stuff on my Instagram that'll keep you entertained. So,
and we'll put that link in the show notes as well. Make sure we've got that in there. People can access it. It's definitely.
Oof. This has been really, really, as I anticipated, John. Amazing getting to speak to Will. Will's actually in Genoa just now. He didn't say that. He told us that beforehand. So we're speaking to continental Europe here, and it's been a real treat. Thank you. Just before I even forget at the end, for taking the time out of your holidays to spend an hour and 20 talking to us too, because it's hugely appreciated. John, are we going to jump into a couple of very important?
Yeah, well, why don't we switch this around, actually? Why don't we do the music one first?
Yeah.
Will's already alluded to Miley Cyrus, so I'm my heart's beating a bit faster with this one. We've got a playlist, Will, that we share with the Young Hearts Run Free listeners. And a number of people have said to me recently, actually, that Stephen's got a big amalgamated playlist where everything's joined together. A lot of people go on that, they'll press random, and who knows what's coming on. So, what is Will Howard going to share with the Young Hearts Run Free listeners?
Well, it's a tricky one, because in the race, I could not get, like, you know, all the aid stations have their own theme. That Wizard of Oz in Wasdale, oh gosh, that was in my mind for the whole night. The wonderful wizard. But I think I got to go with Miley. You know, she's the queen. It's got to be the climb. It's just so on brand, so perfect, and just she's incredible.
Brilliant. Let's add in the Wizard of Oz as well, Stephen. We'll put in two. Let's do that as well.
Why not? Why not? I think it could well be Miley's debut on the playlist, John, which is now hundreds and hundreds of lists.
That's
songs.
Criminal. That's criminal. She's not made an appearance already.
We were waiting for you, man. We're waiting for you.
Well, should we please? I'll let her know.
Add to playlist. Add to La Buff Buff Collection Volume 13. Is now added. Miley is on, locked and loaded, Will. And I'll go and put Wizard of Oz as well. As in, like, because.
We're up to see the wizard,
Right. Okay, I'll put your favourite version in, whatever that may be. The cast of Broadway.
Perfect.
Oh, right, John, wait a minute. I'm just updating the playlist live here.
Yeah, that's how we roll, man. That's how we roll. So Stephen, I'll set him up. While we're doing this, Stephen looks after our dialect dictionary. Well, it is a big book now. We ask people to give us a word or a phrase that's special to them. I'm going to hand over to Stephen because it's Stephen's compendium.
It is. I keep this very special book that I compile over the 300 plus episodes that we've now had on, and it's eventually going to go to a publisher, and it'll be, I'd imagine, a big seller. What is Will Howard putting in the Young Hearts Run Free Dialect Dictionary?
So, as you can tell, I'm from Preston, but you can tell from my accent that it's not particularly a Preston accent, is it? It's I don't even really know what it is at this point. I've moved down south for a bit. It's all been mashed up, and I've done a bit of traveling, and it's a bit international at this point. One of the places I went when I was traveling was Nepal, and out there did a lot of meditation, and one of the key sort of phrases in this meditation was it's an old Pali word. It's kind of like, if you know what Sanskrit is, it's kind of like a different, it's like how Sanskrit is Latin, which is like for the sort of the educated elites, and then this Pali is this Pali language, which is the ancient language of Nepal, India area that was spoken at the time by the normal people. And there was this word which is anicca, so that's Anicca, and it essentially boils down to impermanence, which is just impermanence of everything. Like, you know, like it's common knowledge now that everything is impermanent, even like all the little atoms that are arising and passing. But when you bring it back to running, it's kind of like, you know, we all get in the hard moments and we think, oh, you know, like, it's just key to remember that this hard moment is impermanent, and this will pass. This will also pass. But then also you got to remember the good moments. The good moments are also going to pass, you know. So you got to enjoy them while they last. And like that first 30 miles, you just got to remember, okay, like, don't expect it to be like this the whole time. Like, this is not going to last. And that, for me, that's something that keeps me going and keeps me sane, I think. Or at least if that's what you want to call it.
That is as well a described dialect dictionary word with a good bit of history involved, a bit of everything in there. And I've forgotten the word already.
Anicca. I will have that in his head for the Dunoon Ultra on Saturday.
Exactly.
Well,
It's a great mindset one, isn't it? It's a great, one to repeat over in your head just when you're in the rough moments.
Yeah. Or the good ones.
And the good moments.
Oh, there'll be plenty of good ones.
Well,
thank you.
I knew, see, when we spoke to you, and just listen to you, that dialect dictionary word, when we spoke to you in Coniston, I was thinking you sounded like a bit of a free spirit. Your joy about where you were and finishing third in the Lakeland 100, your first 100-miler you announced to us. You were just so happy. I think I used the word overjoyed earlier. But it's been absolutely brilliant speaking to you. We knew it would be a good one. And I'm going to say as well, you're a young guy just getting started with this. I think you're one to watch, most definitely. And it's a wee bit, there's no rush, there's plenty of time. But what I'm going to say here is it's a bit of a watch this space to see what's going to happen. And I wish you every health and happiness for the future, Will, and I hope you'll come back and speak to us again.
I'd love to. I've had a great time. It's been lovely chatting with you. It was lovely chatting with you on the finish line, but this has been really special.
I was going to say that just to finish up, because getting to chat to you as soon as you, it's a really privileged position that we're put in, and we're really lucky to be able to get to speak to people just in quite an emotional moment. But I could tell, is it the aura, the vibe, the aura, whatever you want to say, that how pleased you were. John said it really well, and you kind of lit up John and I Saturday afternoon, because we're rushing about, dashing about, trying to make sure that we're speaking to the right people at the right times. And there was a uniqueness to when we chatted with you, and I think what we've spoke about in the last hour and 20 minutes or whatever, you'll now light up people's weekend. And I think there's a real, I don't know, there's something shining bright light about you, Will, that I wish you all the best in your running journey, because I think you've got a lot to make your mark on, and it's been a real privilege to get to speak to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Beth. And before we wrap up, I just want to say to you guys, like, the stuff you're doing, like this podcast, it's amazing, and what you do for the community is it doesn't go unnoticed. Like, it's everybody loves it. So right back at you. Keep up the good work, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you.